All right, boys and girls, welcome to today's video. I am currently 5 days away from my competition, and I wanted to give you a little taste of how things are going in prep for this competition, which is a powerlifting comp if you're new to the channel. This week, I am focusing on my openers. That being said, my squat opener, 350 pounds, bench opener, 260 pounds is what I'm going to start with, and deadlift, I think I'm going to go for 495 pounds. The past 2 weeks were peaking and then tapering off from that. I don't have any footage of my deadlift because I was done 2 weeks ago, my last heavy deadlift session. And the deadlifts that I did last week and this week, very light and minimal weight, so I just didn't turn on the camera for it. I don't have enough space on my phone to do that. So here's a little bit of training footage. Give you just kind of a global perspective of how things have gone, and then we're going to talk about the future because I don't want this to be a video where I nitpick what my training cycle was like, what I could have done better, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a rat's patoot? You know what I mean? I think if I look back at my spreadsheet, I started training with the intent of competing in this powerlifting comp about 206 days ago. That's whenever I started the official training log for this. And it went through various different phases. The past 16 weeks have been my own program that I write. Ideally, it would have been different. Last year, it looked a little bit different. The squat, bench, deadlift, and the organization of it was the same, but I was able to do more work because I did not have a kid until the very end of that session, that training block. So my son was born in August last year, and the competition last year was also in September, so there was a little bit of lag there where things fell off a bit. All that to say, I'm not where I had hoped to be in terms of overall strength, but I am better than I was last year, and that's ultimately what matters, is progress. And so I have progressed. I'm starting with heavier weights than I did last year. I plan to finish with heavier weights than I did last year. If all goes well, I would like a 400 plus pound squat, a 300 plus pound bench press, and I would like to match my deadlift from last year, which did not count. It got 2 red lights, 445 pounds at least, and get that with 2 green lights. No hitching, that's what they called last year. You could go find that footage on my channel. It's a YouTube short if you're interested. Yeah, so that's it. That's how training's going. That's how I'm looking forward to the competition. What I'm really looking forward to is after the comp, I'm going to get down with some heavy weights. I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I think it's going to bring some pretty good content. I'm going to squat and bench every day for a week. Maybe not every day, 5 or 6 days is the plan. And then the following week, I'm going to deadlift and overhead press the same, 5 or 6 days a week. And then I'm going to just repeat that process over and over again. If you know me, you know that I like to experiment whenever it comes to the gym, try new programs, try new things. I've done a small off cycle before. I've ran 5-3-1 before. I did Calgary barbells, 16-week powerlifting prep program before. I've done a Bulgarian style squat and bench program before. I've done kind of a bodybuilding thing, which I wasn't really interested in. It was fun because it was a break from the heavier weights. So this is going to be kind of like a mini Bulgarian. It's going to be like a weekly Bulgarian cycle, and I think that's going to be dope. I really think it's going to make me a lot stronger, especially with the squat. I'm excited to see what comes of it. So stay tuned for that. I will be posting the results of the competition after Saturday. It's not going to be a long, in-depth video of I could have done better here, blah, blah, blah. Your typical powerlifter recap video. It's just going to be black and white. Here's what I did, and here's what the future is going to be. Stay tuned for that. If you're interested, I will post those results just as soon as I get around to it. Thank you for stopping by, listening to me rant in this video. I didn't really have a point. I just wanted to put something out there, give you all an update, share some of this modest training footage from the past week and a half.